Hey, what's going on, y'all? Listen, I remember hearing this story years ago, and it talked about this community of frogs. Yes, I said it, frogs. A community of frogs where every single year they look forward to this monumental event, and that event was the race on the hill or the race up the hill. And what would happen is every single year, every frog from the community would come and they would meet at the bottom of this hill. And only the bravest frogs would actually put their names on the list to compete in this race of running up the hill. The challenge is nobody in the history of this race has ever completed getting up to the top of this hill. And so this particular day, when all the frogs were meeting at the bottom of the hill. Of course, the frog with the gun, he says, on your mark, get set, boom, and all the frogs starts taking off. They're hopping one by one. One by one, 10 frogs started the race. And one by one, eventually 10 frogs became 9. 9 frogs became 8, and then 7, and then 6, and then 5. And what was interesting was the more that these frogs hopped up the hill, the more the frogs on the sidelines would tell them over and over and over again that they could never accomplish this thing. Nobody has ever did it. It's just a matter of time before you hop out of the race yourself. And so eventually 5 became 4, 4 became 3, and 3 became 2. And all of a sudden you had these 2 frogs going head to head. I mean, they hopping, man. They going for it. And they get almost to the top, and one frog began to pay attention to the frogs on the sideline, telling them that it could never be done. And eventually he begins to tire down, and he gives in to the criticism. He gives in to the hate, and he bows out of the race. And this one frog that's left, he continues to hop over and over and over. Yeah, he's tired as he's hopping, but he sees the finish line. Now, here's what's interesting. In the midst of him hopping, you still hear the frogs on the sideline telling him that it can never be done because no one has ever done it before. But he kept hopping, and he kept hopping, and he kept hopping. Eventually, those frogs that was on the sideline, they became ridiculously quiet. Ridiculously quiet because everyone on the sideline saw this frog do something that was never done before, and he crossed the finish line up the hill. So as the crowd began to cheer him on, yes, the same ones that was telling him that it would never be done, they began to cheer him on. They met him at the finish line, and this one frog kind of barged his way through the crowd. And as he's barging through the crowd, and he's telling them, excuse me, I have to get to my friend. I have to get to my friend. There was this one frog that when he met with his friend, there was another frog that met him, and he said, it's never been done before. How did you do it? And in amazement, the frog's best friend came up and he answered for him. He said, if you were paying attention to my friend, he doesn't have any ears. Therefore, he wasn't hearing all the people tell him that it couldn't be done. Think about that for a second. How many times have we listened to the voices in our head or the voices along the sideline telling us that it can never be done, and we allow that to influence us crossing the finish line to our goals or to our dream? I want to encourage you that whatever it is that you're going after, give way to the criticism on the sidelines, because here's the reality. Most people that's telling you that it can't be done, they're telling you that because they've never attempted it or they've never done it themselves. And so their word becomes irrelevant at that point. I want you to go after what it is that you want. Forget the naysayers. The naysayers are going to happen whether you achieve in success or whether you're not. I want you to achieve success because not just you are banking on winning, but a generation that's coming after you is banking on you winning as well. So like that frog that was deaf to the criticism, I want you to become deaf to the criticism in your life. And I want you to go after everything that God said is yours. Listen. It's up to you to win. It's up to you to win. It's not up to anybody else. If anything, this pandemic has showed us is that it is up to us to win. If we're going to win in this game called life, then we have to hop forward and we have to hop up the hill, even when those on the sideline don't believe we can get it done. So With that, I hope this was value added to you. I hope it added some encouragement to you, because like you, I've been there. I've been at that point where I was ready to throw in the towel, but I had to keep hopping. I had to keep hopping past the criticism, and I had to link arms with those that had my best interest and would cheer me on. And I want to be your cheerleader in this season of your life. So as always, I love you. I care for you. I want to see you win. And as always, when you are living in your purpose, there's no such thing as competition. Until next time, take care. God bless.